David Viscott. This is live. It's Saturday night, and we're together again. This program is about you. It's about what makes everybody tick. It's a story that unfolds in front of us. We don't even know what we're going to hear tonight. It's an amazing view into the hearts and minds of a city, of people, of the human race. John, how are we doing?
Very good. Good to be with you again, David.
That's John Dosa. What do we have tonight?
We have a lot of people waiting to talk to you there. Some interesting stories, as you'll see yourself. First, I'd like you to meet Sharon. Sharon, right now, as we speak, is in the living room. Her best friend, her girlfriend, is upstairs in bed with her father. She's very angry, wants to talk to you about it. She is 16.
Sharon?
Sharon.
Sharon?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
What's going on?
I'm very anxious to speak with you.
Yeah, I can tell. But what's happening?
Well, I'm 16 years old, and my parents just got divorced the divorce was actually final 2.5 months ago. And I have been really good friends with my friend for about 8 years.
How old is she?
She's 18.
And they've been divorced for how long?
Well, the divorce was actually final about 2.5 months ago, but they've been separated for about 3 years.
All right. And you got to talk right into the phone, Sharon.
Okay.
Okay. What is going on with your? How long has your friend been involved with your dad?
Well, actually, I don't know, but I became aware of it about 3 weeks ago because I was staying at a friend's house, and then I came home from my friend's house because we got in a fight, and
Over what?
What?
Over what?
Just because, she wanted to stay up really late, and this is not the friend that's involved with my father. This is
Okay, but what about the friend that's involved with your dad?
Okay, so she came home with my father, and I knew it was her because I could hear them outside, and she came in, and I saw her, hanging on to my dad, and then my dad came in, and he said, "Oh, the truth's out, and, now you know the facts, and I know you're really distressed over this, but, we're going to help you through it, and, we'll help you, face the facts." And, I just don't know how to deal with it. Because
well, the first thing is that if that was the first thing out of his mouth, we're going to help you face the fact, we're going to help you face the truth, he was trying so hard to be helpful that he didn't seem to care about your feelings at all.
I don't know, it just seemed...
Did you feel a little bulldozed?
Pardon me?
Did you feel like he steamrolled you in? Was very tough, just going right ahead and saying...
Yeah, just like, this is the way it is, and I don't care what you think.
Right. And did you say that to him?
Yeah, I said, why are you doing this? Why are you, not talking to me about it? And he said, well, this is what makes me happy. And I didn't want him to feel that, I was jealous, because it wasn't that I was jealous, because he was with another lady before her, and, I was happy for him.
Yeah, the lady wasn't your age or your friend.
No, she was older. And
well, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
I mean, do you have any brothers or sisters?
No, I'm an only child.
Okay. So there you were, you had Daddy all to yourself.
Right.
And it's almost as if he took one of your friends and chose her over you.
Possibly, yeah.
Possibly?
That could be.
He in fact did, didn't he?
Right.
So what does that make you feel like?
Well, it just makes me feel like my friend is, they're talking about getting married, and, they have this public display of affection on the couch, and,
Which makes you feel?
I feel sick. It's just, because I think of her, I've known her since I was 8 and she was 10.
And you identify with her.
Right. I just feel like we're, in the same level.
Right, so
I think that she's with a 48-year-old man. It's just,
It disgusts you.
Yeah, gross.
I know, and the thing that disgusts you, in part, hear this, Sharon, because it's what seems to be going on, is that when you have a dear friend, you think of the friend as you think of yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So in some way, you see her with your dad, and you put yourself in her position.
Right.
Right?
I think so.
And that's what's disgusting.
I think so, because I think that I couldn't imagine myself.
Right. It feels incestuous to you.
Right.
Okay.
But her parents are happy about it, because their parents have always, kind of shoved marriage down her throat, like, when you turn 18 or something.
Well, that may well be, but that's an entirely different issue. Your father says he's going to help you with it, right? They're going to help you face the truth, right?
Right, but that was 3 weeks ago, and now he's just, now he doesn't really talk to me.
Because he thinks it should be all over. This is what you tell him, okay? You say, look, I'm having a lot of problems with this. Perhaps they're my own problems. The first problem I'm having is that I feel not only have I lost my parents' home and my mother and father, I've also lost the special relationship I have with my dad. I feel like I've been replaced. And I'm also feeling very uncomfortable by the fact that my best friend is having a sexual relationship with my dad. Now, you may not like that, but that's the way I'm feeling. You know, one of the things about life is that you don't necessarily know what's going on.
Right.
And before you know what's going on, you know what you feel. You're feeling disgusted, you're feeling displaced, and you're feeling hurt.
But should I tell my mom?
Why did she come into the picture just now?
Well, because I talk to my mom a lot.
And she doesn't know about this?
No, she lives in Florida. She moved.
But you talk to her a lot. Why shouldn't she know about this?
I don't know, because she'll just, like, you know, I know she'll say something and she'll criticize my dad. And you know.
Well, the point is, why would you think she would criticize your dad?
Because she always does.
Well, because you criticize him too right now. She wouldn't say anything about him that you haven't already said to me. Isn't that right?
No, probably does.
All right. Listen, this is what you need to do. You need to be open with your dad, and you need to be open with your mother, and you need to be straightforward about it. When you don't understand the feeling, the thing you need to express is how you feel about the subject until it gets clear. It never gets easy. John, who do we have?
Mike. Mike is literally trapped in a fatal attraction. He's got an older woman about 20 years older than him that won't let him go. He's 19.
Mike. Mike, are you with me?
Yeah.
Hi. What's going on, Mike?
Well, I'm about 19, and this woman who's about 38, 39, who I used to work for, is not leaving me alone. She leaves notes on my car. She threatens me because we had a relationship going, and I wanted to end it, and she didn't want to.
How does she threaten you, and with what does she threaten you?
She threatens like that she'll tell people that we knew because it didn't get out. We didn't let hardly any people know about it because she was my mother's, one of my friend's mothers. And so that's how I got the job. And so I worked with her for a year, and we were doing things together. And then I wanted to quit because she was being overbearing on me. And
Could you identify with the first call that you heard here tonight?
a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Now, what do you want?
I would really like it if she'd leave me alone, but she doesn't seem to want to.
What do you tell her?
I tell her that I don't want to see her, that I don't love her, that I didn't love her, because basically I was using her to keep my job for the latter part of the relationship.
Kiss your job goodbye, pal.
It's already over. I quit. That's why I'm especially trying to get rid of her now.
Okay, so you have to tell the truth.
I did.
But you have to tell it again, that you used her just to keep the job.
I tell her that, and she says she doesn't care. She thinks I still love her.
She's a desperate lady, huh?
Yeah.
Do you tell her that, too?
Yeah, I've told her that I don't want her, that I don't find her attractive, and she leaves notes on my car and
What do the notes say?
What?
What do the notes say?
Notes say things like that she wants to see me, that she doesn't care if I don't love her. I can call her anytime and she'll give me sex. Anything that I want just to keep me around.
Boy. So you're not working for her. Where are you working?
I'm not employed at the moment.
How does she have access to your car?
She just drives by my house and leaves notes on it in the middle of the night.
Why read them?
Might as well see what they say.
Well, you know what they say.
Yeah.
I want you, I need you, I love you, don't leave me.
Yeah.
All right, so they're not going to change. The only thing you can do is ignore them. The worst thing you can get into is a situation where you have someone who's, has this kind of an attraction. Besides putting notes, how else does she come after you?
She calls me, and she also tries to show up places where she thinks I'll be. I've bumped into her a lot of places where she knows I'll be. And then she tries to pull me aside and talk to me alone, and I usually get away, but sometimes I can't.
Why can't you? Give me an example of why you can't.
Well, like a lot of people are around, and I don't want her to start saying things to people. I don't want a lot of people to know about it.
You're embarrassed?
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
Well, because she's my friend's mom, and she's 20 years older than me.
Do you talk to your friend?
Yeah, he knows about it.
And what does he say?
He basically thinks if his mom's happy, whatever makes her happy.
Some friend, huh?
Yeah, really.
Oh, boy. Okay. You're going to have to be cruel.
Yeah, well, I try that. It doesn't seem to work.
Tell me how you were cruel.
Oh, I've told her right in her face that I hate her and I never want to see her, and she doesn't care.
That's a little too passionate. Because when you only hate the things you love, Yeah, okay. Do you have any feeling for her?
No, I don't.
Is there any other lady in your life?
Yes, I have a girlfriend right now, but she doesn't even believe that because she's never seen me with her.
Okay, well, she's got to see you with the other girlfriend, and when she's around, you've got to make an enormous display of affection and all that sort of thing, because this woman needs reality testing.
Yeah.
And her reality is based right now on the desperation she feels within. When a person is feeling that desperate, they'll discolor the whole world to fit their inner scheme.
Yeah. I was wondering, though, like, if I should tell her husband about it or something.
Why don't you could say if you don't stop, you're going to have to.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thing. The way you spoke, I thought she was single.
Oh, no, she's married.
Okay. Does she have any fear of that?
No, not really, because she wants to get divorced from him.
Oh, so there's no way you can win with her.
Not a whole lot.
Okay. You're going to get out of this somehow or other, but you got to figure the lesson there is to learn in this. What did you learn?
That a job may not be worth this.
A job may not be worth this. A lot of things that aren't worth this. I'd have to threaten her and say, look, I'll do anything to keep you away from me at this point. I'll get a restraining order if I have to. I'll tell your husband if I have to. But one thing I will not be is harassed by you. I don't want you in my life, and you make my life miserable. The more I see of you, the more I realize how mistaken I was in approaching you.
Makes sense.
But you have to say that over and over again. Don't be embarrassed by her. Another thing that you can do is when she comes at you in public and embarrasses you, you can say, this woman is coming after me all the time. I can't be around here, folks. This woman is trying to get me.
Uh-huh.
And you can stop her by embarrassing her back. I'm not saying this is to be cruel. I'm saying it's what you have to do to give her some kind of barrier, so that every time she comes close, she runs the risk of being exposed.
I see.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
And it's fighting fire with fire. You're dealing with an irrational woman who's infatuated with you, not because of you.
No.
Because she's trying to get out of a loveless marriage in which there's no passion.
Right.
She misses her youth. She sees you and she thinks of all the things that she has discarded. She has to be brought down to reality. And the way you tell her that is to tell her exactly what I just said. You're an unhappy lady who's living out a fantasy with me and making my life miserable. I feel sad that you feel this way. I'm sorry that your life isn't working out, but I don't love you, and you need to understand that you're more desperate than in love.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, and you got to tell her that. And one of the things I would do is I would tell her this beforehand. Give her a call, sit down and meet with her, and say, look, this is the last time I will be courteous and gentlemanly. From now on, when you approach me, I will make you uncomfortable to the degree to which you make me uncomfortable. Fight fire with fire. It's sometimes the only way you can get out of a situation like this. I'm David Viscott, and this is Live, and we'll be right back. David Viscott, we're back. John, what do we have?
Kristen, very, very confused. It seems she has a wedding set for 2 weeks from now, December 2nd. The trouble is she's now fallen in love with someone else.
People don't know when to leave enough alone, huh? Kristen.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
What's going on?
Well, I'm pretty concerned. I've been engaged for about 2 years to a man that I've known for 5 years. I just met someone about 4 months ago who I'm very interested in.
When did you set the date?
Pardon me?
When did you set the date?
For the 2nd of December.
No, when did you set that date?
Oh, about 10 months ago.
Okay, so about 3 or 4 months after you settled in, you found this guy.
Right. And now I'm feeling like, I really do want to marry this man. I mean, this is...
Wait, man A or man B?
Man A.
You really want to marry the guy that you're engaged to?
Right, but there's someone else that I've, become involved with.
How involved is involved?
Pretty involved.
How involved is pretty involved? Be straight.
Okay, we haven't slept together, but...
Are you in love with him?
I think a part of me is, and the other part forces myself to say no because I've been with, man number A for 5 years. I've known him for 5 years.
What
And-
you're talking about is that you're forcing yourself to be faithful, and you're torn.
Right.
So you have deep feelings for this other person.
Yes. And
And you wouldn't be calling unless you did, right?
Right, and I've tried so hard to just stay away from him. If I didn't talk to him for 3 weeks, he's very understanding. He left me alone, and I just, every single day, I couldn't stand being away from him, and,
You're in love with him.
well, I don't, that may be possible, but I can't make myself, I can't admit that to myself.
Why not? You're living it.
Well, I think because I've spent 5 years and I don't want to throw away.
You've got an investment. Okay, we all have those sorts of things.
Right.
But truth is an investment in reality. Just because something was something you believed in, I'm not saying get rid of the guy, but it's now a very important thing has happened that makes you want to reevaluate the relationship. Why, after setting the engagement, after 5 years, did you suddenly become interested in someone? Don't answer about man B, answer about man A. What was there missing in the guy you were engaged to?
I have asked myself that every day since I met this other person, and I don't know.
But this other person has something the other person doesn't have.
That's gotta be it.
You mean you don't even know what the other person has that you're attracted to?
I think somewhere I probably do know, but
Well, come bring that part forward. What is it that you're attracted to that the other person doesn't have? It's
Well,
a feeling in you, I'll bet.
they're so opposite. I mean,
Describe A, describe B.
okay, A is very reserved, calm, basically very grown up.
I guess all of us kind of knew that. Right?
B is, more lively, more, he can be mature, but he likes to do fun things. He likes to travel, go out,
How old is B?
B is 28,
How old is A?
25.
Isn't that curious?
Mm-hmm.
So the one who's older is a younger person,
Right. Basically.
basically. And when you're with B, you feel young.
But we're the same age.
I understand. And when you're with A, you feel married.
Yeah, that sounds good.
It sounds good?
Yeah.
It sounds accurate, you mean?
Right.
Does it feel good?
No, because it makes me feel guilty,
No, wait. Feel guilty?
Right, because anytime I think about feeling good about admitting something that
Finish it.
pardon me?
Finish the thought. Anytime I admit something that makes me feel good,
Then I feel bad because I always feel good about about B.
what a mysteriously put statement. Every time I admit something good, it makes me feel bad. I see what it means. When you feel good about your fiance, you feel guilty that you were the other person and like him better.
That's right.
Like him better.
Like him better.
Like him better.
But I don't want to,
Don't tell me what you don't want. Tell me what you feel. Like him better. Calm, grown up, lively, fun, likes to go out.
but can you throw away something for 5 years that,
Oh, it's the investment that you're concerned with.
right,
You were 20 years old.
pardon me?
You
Yes.
were, and that's how you thought when you were 20. Well, I'd like some mature person in my life. What was home like when you were 20? Did you?
I had just moved away from home.
Okay. And in moving away from home, what were you leaving?
My mother, my father, and my 2 brothers.
I understand that, but what were you leaving? Chaos, pain, desperation, dysfunction?
My father, basically.
What was he about?
He's an alcoholic.
And around him you felt?
Sickened.
You felt what?
I felt sickened by
Sickened.
watching him,
Describe sickened. I want that description.
abusing himself every day sickened me. To see what he was doing to himself.
Okay, and the feeling, describe that sickening feeling. Angry?
It made me very angry.
And around your father, you felt feelings of anger and disquiet. You were stirred up.
Yeah.
Yes. Because your father just would not take responsibility.
Right. He'd go to AA, and then he wouldn't go to AA, and then he'd drink, and then he wouldn't drink.
Right. So what you decided is that you wanted someone not like your father, someone around whom you felt calm and grown up.
Yes.
And you found Mr. A,
That's right.
who was calm and grown up.
Very.
And now you realize that that was just, you may not realize it, but you're going to realize it now, in some way that was just an excuse to get out of that relationship with your dad and get some quiet and some even keel. And then you realize after a while, wait a second, I'm only 25. I don't need this much calm and grown up in my life. I like some fun and going out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I suggest?
What?
Since you haven't had sex with him, right?
Right.
Right. Since you haven't had sex with B, you have to discuss B with A.
Well, he knows him, but he doesn't know we're involved.
Well, I can-
So I need to tell him that.
All right. But what you need to tell him is that something's really wrong, because what you need in your life is something different now. He fit at a time when you were desperate and unhappy, and now you've realized a new yearning. You have
That's
not
right.
consummated it, right?
Right.
And the yearning is for a different kind of life, and it's not fair to him for you to go with him and follow through on the wedding at this time till you've both talked over all of this in depth, and you reveal to him that you're finding yourself attracted to B, and you're feeling terrible about it. You haven't acted on it, but you can. The critical thing is whenever you feel the attraction for another person, that is the subject of the conversation that you should have in your relationship, because that's what brings you together. Because if you can resolve this question about B with your fiance, you'll be intimate, open, and more lively, and there'll be more fun. But the more you conceal it, the more you will conceal not only the yearning, but the love you feel for your fiance, and then you won't be able to make a proper judgment. Bring it all out in the open. The time to do it is now. Don't wait.
Thank you.
Kristen,
Yeah.
I'm sorry you're going through this. It just doesn't feel great.
I know.
I know.
But all I can do is
Tell the truth.
tell the truth.
Yeah. Good luck.
I'll try it. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Take care.
You too. Bye.
Would you talk with Stephen? Stephen is, I guess, absolutely obsessed with the idea of plastic surgery. He's had some nose jobs and things. He'll tell you about it, but he's 21. He's actually working 2 jobs to pay for it, and he's calling you from his second job.
Stephen,
Yeah, how you doing, sir?
how are you?
Hey, great, I guess.
You guess.
I'm working 2 jobs and I'm a full-time student.
Okay. What is this plastic surgery business?
I don't know, I don't know, I just feel so, I just, like, hate myself, and I want to change myself
What
so bad.
What are you trying to change?
My looks, I guess.
What-
I guess with my changing my looks, it'll probably make me feel better.
Okay. What about your looks would you like to change?
I don't know, I've had my nose done, like, 3 times.
Why?
I thought it was too big, I guess.
You had it done once and you thought it was too big after it was done?
Well, because I had it done when I was 17, I mean, I could only go to the cheapest surgeon I could find. So I got like 2 bad jobs and a pretty decent one now, I guess.
Okay.
And I mean, it's to a point where I falsified my papers to go into the military,
Falsify them how?
like getting another birth certificate, went under another name.
Yeah, but what is it you're trying to conceal?
Oh, well, so I can get in early, so I could get the job. I mean, I wanted it so bad.
Oh, this is to get the money to make yourself look better.
Right. I mean, to the point where
When you look in the mirror, what do you see?
somebody I hate. I mean, I just with a passion.
Okay. And what would make you like that person?
Well, I mean, because of the way I pick my friends. I mean, I always pick them because they're really. I mean, I know this is really weird and everything, but I mean, I pick them because of like the way they look and everything. And I guess, I don't know.
You guess what?
I guess the way it just really bothers me. I don't know
Wait a
why.
second. You're drifting all over the place. It's yourself you don't like, and you know if you look like a movie star, you'd still feel terrible about yourself.
But I don't know why. I mean,
Well, that's the point. I would start taking a look at something else. Let's take a look right now. When was the last time in your life you felt good about yourself?
I can't even remember once.
Oh, you can remember once.
No, that's another thing. I asked my mom. I mean,
When was the last time you...
probably when I was a little kid.
Okay, what had you done?
Nothing. I just thought I was cute as a little kid.
You were?
Yeah.
Who told you that?
Everybody used to tell me, I guess.
And when did they stop telling you that?
Oh, man, as soon as I hit puberty, man.
What happened?
Just everything just went, I don't know what happened.
What do you mean everything just went?
Just grew. It's pretty weird.
Yeah, but something happened. Stay with me.
Okay. I don't know. I just started noticing everybody else. I guess I was in the period where everybody's noticing everybody else. And
Okay. And you
I
were
just became very self-conscious.
Okay, you became very self-conscious. You were how old?
Now I'm 21.
No, then.
Oh, probably when I, like, 9.
Okay.
8.
9. That's before puberty.
Oh, well, I
What
had puberty
happened in
around
your
10.
life when you were 8 or 9? Did the family stay together? Was there any change? Did Dad move in or out?
well, I'm adopted. That was, not to mention I didn't
When
look
did you
like,
find out?
I always knew they always told me.
They always told you.
Right.
There wasn't any particular period in your life where it suddenly became clear what adopted meant?
Well, kind of like, I guess, the fact that I didn't look like everybody else.
You didn't look like... Wait a second. That's the window. Who did your parents look like? Did you ever wonder?
They didn't look like me, that's for sure.
No, I'm talking about your real parents.
Oh,
You
yeah,
you
I've always wondered.
Your looks changed. You started looking in the mirror as your looks changed, and I wonder what you wondered about your real parents' appearance.
Oh, wouldn't I like to know?
Yeah, tell me about that. Oh, wouldn't I like to know? Listen to the energy around that. Your real parents' appearance. What did you wonder about?
Well, I started getting like features, not that this makes a difference or anything, but I have white features and I have green eyes, but then I started getting like some black features.
So you began to wonder about your identity.
Right.
Who are your parents? This is what it's about.
Right.
Okay. You need to find out who your parents are. You need to answer those questions. Getting all this plastic surgery isn't going to help you. You need to answer some questions about yourself. Are you mixed? Are you the product of someone who looks like a monster? You know all these questions that you've run through your mind?
Yeah, to the point where, I've tried to commit suicide.
But you have to find the answer to this, and I would seek out your biological parents. That's
in the case that I couldn't, what would be the next?
well, so that you can see that you're not a freak. You believe that there's something wrong with you. You're struggling with the unknown. You're trying to cover your identity. You're not being yourself. And as you do that, you lose the belief that there's something good about you. It doesn't make any difference who your parents are. It's how you feel about yourself. And everyone has to undergo that search about identity. And for you, Stephen, it's time to find out who your folks really are, so you can put to bed some of these feelings of the unknown and at least know what reality is. There's comfort in that. We'll be right back. David Viscott, welcome back. This is live. The number here is 1-800-464-1622. John, who do we have?
Patty, she was raped by her father over a period of time, and suddenly now she's beginning to have feelings of anger at herself. She wants to talk to you.
She's how old?
She's 36 now.
Patty?
Yes,
Hi, can you speak up, please?
sure.
What are these feelings of anger, and when did they start?
Oh, I just started watching the show about 3 weeks ago, and as I listened to you, it stirred all of this up again.
What particularly stirred it up?
I don't know. I think just you helping people.
Uh-huh. Do you remember any particular thing I said?
You know, I think it was the girl that, no, I'm sorry, I was,
No, go ahead. Just speak in so I can hear you. It was the girl that what?
that you helped, that had, on the radio, that had, her friend had been raped and she shared it.
Okay. I remember that. That was from the radio show.
Yeah.
Okay. And as you heard that, what did that do to you?
It just brought back the memories of what happened to me, of all that time.
Okay, as I remember that call, let me see if I can recreate it for all of us. There was one moment where we were talking about these two 7-year-olds confiding in each other.
Yeah.
And we were talking about the person and the size of the person and being overpowered by the person and having to be around the person and having feelings of discomfort around the person. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember it.
That's it there, huh? Okay. So when were you raped by your father?
It happened over a period of my first memory of it is when I was about 3.
3 years old?
Yeah,
With penetration?
I don't remember.
How long did this go on?
The last time that I remember was about 8 years old, and that's the time that I have the problem with. That's where I see the anger. I see myself as a child in 2 ways when I see myself as a child. One, I have compassion and feel sad for, and the other, which is really upsetting me, I just feel almost violent towards, and I've never been in touch with that
You
before,
feel violent towards yourself?
as the child.
Why?
Because she never fought,
She never fought.
and
Why didn't you fight?
because I would just tense up and freeze, and
Because you were what?
I just tense up and freeze when he came near me, and to the
You were
point-
terrified.
But my sister fought him.
How old was she?
She's 3 or 4 years older than me.
How do you know she fought him?
Because when I tensed up, he would go to her.
And she talked to you about this?
No, I watched it. She didn't even know he was doing it to me.
How did you know? He was doing it to her?
Because we're in the same bed.
So how could she not know that he was doing it to you?
She said she was just so overwhelmed that she didn't know what was going on with anyone else.
But she was 3 years older.
I know.
When you were 8, she was 11. Of course she knew.
Okay.
She knew. She was as paralyzed as you were. Maybe some of the anger that you're feeling is not at yourself for doing nothing. Maybe some of it is at your sister for pretending not to notice and not doing anything when she was older and more responsible. Hello?
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, come on. Don't say you don't know. Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Patty, you've got to speak up so I can hear your voice and your feelings. I'm trying to help you, but it's a strain to focus.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, yes, it does.
It feels correct.
Yeah.
When was the last time you talked to your sister about this?
We've never been close because she just went off and got married and later, and I'm just always been alone. And
She just ran away. You've been alone with your anger, and instead of being angry at your sister, you're angry at yourself for giving in. Why did he stop when you were 8 years old? What made him stop?
he decided to move to another state, and he took my brother and sister along.
So you were spared.
Yes.
How did you view his leaving?
I wanted to go.
Why?
I'm not sure on that one, except that my mother had remarried when I was 5 and in the hospital, and my stepfather was an alcoholic, and I guess...
So you were trapped between two horrible situations. How was your stepfather when he was drunk?
Pretty mean. I mean...
I hear it. What did he do to you?
Well, he just he chose to deal out punishment when he was drunk, and he used to hit us all with a belt buckle, and I used to hide in the closet.
And you were preferring your father's rape to his belt buckle?
I don't know. My father, I'd like to say I don't like him, but he was more likable than my stepfather then.
The reason you're having so much trouble is that in your mind you could choose your father over your stepfather. So it makes it hard for you to push away the rape, and it makes it hard for you to believe that you didn't take part in it. Isn't that right?
Yes. It makes
Because if you yearn to be with your father after what he did, what does that say about you, you must be wondering, huh?
Yeah.
You see, the important thing to understand is that you were a child. And if you're a child, you're ruled by fear when a situation is overwhelming.
Yes.
You're not ruled by reason, and you're blaming yourself for not being more mature and not having a sense of yourself that an adult would have.
And that's why when I see the child in the other situation, I feel sad. And
Sure.
passionate.
You see a child who's trapped, and you see a heart that's continuously pulled apart. You want safety, and at least you felt in the sexual aspect of your father's love that it wasn't as painful as being beaten. You have to forgive yourself for being human. You try to find the least damaging path for yourself. No one can blame you for that.
I was sure he was going to stop, but I didn't think my stepfather would ever stop.
That's what you were sure your dad would stop, but you didn't think your stepfather would ever stop. Do you have scars?
No.
You don't?
No. Honest, I don't.
Scars enough.
Huh?
I can hear the scars.
It's not visible scars.
Listen, where are you single or married? What's your story now?
That's my heartache. I don't want to be alone. I always have been.
You're terrified of being damaged again. Do you work?
Yes.
What do you do? Don't name the place. Just tell me what sort of work you do.
I work in customer service.
Uh-huh. Have you ever spoken to anyone one-on-one for some therapy?
I talked to a minister once, and
He said,
I had to forgive my father.
wonderful.
And
The point is, it's true, but it requires getting to that place. You need to be in therapy, my friend. You have so much pain, it's all alive within you, and you can feel it. You know I'm telling you the truth.
I know I'm
Okay.
scared.
You what?
I'm scared.
Look at me, come on. Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to give you a referral, and they'll help you find someone to talk to, but you have to talk to someone. You can't live your life like this. You're a good person, you're a deserving person, and you're living every day recounting the saddest, most bitter memories of your life and reliving them. That's not right. Stay with me.
Okay.
We'll be right back. I'm David Viscott. Welcome back. I'm Dr. David Viscott, and of course this is live. If you're out there, I'm here at Saturday night, and people are having problems. Problems that are somehow more alive in the middle of the night than they seem at other times. John, who do you have for me?
This is Lorraine. She's planning on getting married, but she just found out that her fiance is what you call a mama's boy. Lorraine is 25.
Mama's boy, huh? Lorraine? Lorraine?
Yes?
Where were you just now?
Where was I?
Yeah, you weren't there when I...
Oh, I don't know. I pushed the phone so I could hear
Okay.
you a little bit better. But
Good. You're getting married?
yes,
And?
and I found out that he's a mama's boy, and I'm really unsure about getting married now.
What do you mean a mama's boy, and how did you find out?
Well, I've been dating him for 4 years, and I love him. He's a great guy. He plays minor leagues for the Boston Red Sox. I met him here in California. He's from Toronto, Canada. I went to Toronto, Canada a week ago, met his family for the very first time. His mom has MS. She's in a wheelchair. And I just saw a different side to him that shocked me more than I can even say.
Okay, tell me what that was.
It was like he didn't have any thoughts of his own, or he didn't have any kind of spunk to him at all. He was just quiet and reserved and unhappy.
In his mother's presence.
In his mother's presence, exactly.
All right, and what do you think that's all about?
I think that he feels guilty. I've asked him about it before. I think he feels guilty about that she's in a wheelchair because his father passed away.
How long ago?
When he was 7, so he's never really had a father figure.
Okay.
I know he loves his mom. I mean, I respect that he loves her and wants to take care of her, but he has another brother and 2 other sisters that are older, and they stay home and take care of the mom. So why does she need Denny?
How often does he see her?
He never sees her.
So what do you mean? The point is, if he never sees her, how much of a problem is it?
Because he wants to live in Toronto when we get married, and I don't want to live there.
Okay.
I do not want to live near his mom.
You don't want to live near his mom. So have you told him that?
Yes.
And he says?
And we've temporarily broken up because of this.
Okay. And why are you calling me?
Because I don't know if I'm so in love with him. I don't know if I should just forsake this and say, something, we'll work it out. I mean, how do these relationships go? I mean, am I...
He has a sick mother.
Yes.
In whose presence he becomes acquiescent.
Right.
Childlike.
Right.
And gives into her controlling ways.
Right.
When he becomes that person, you don't love that person.
I don't love that person. You're
okay.
right.
So that means if he wants to be around her, he's choosing to be that person over the person you love.
Oh, that hurt.
Did it?
Yeah, because I love him, and I can't imagine being with anybody else in my life, and if he chooses her over me...
He doesn't choose her over you.
Well, he is, though, because he's choosing
Wait a second. What was that in your voice?
I feel competitive towards her.
I know, but you also started to whine.
I know. I love him, and I want him here with
Again.
me. I know.
You know. What is this whining stuff?
I'm just so frustrated, Dr. Viscott. I don't even know what to... I can't talk to him. He doesn't. He acts like there's nothing wrong. And I want
For him, there isn't. The way he is around his mother is the way that feels natural to him. He doesn't know he's acting acquiescent and guilt-ridden. That feels like love to him. Poor mother, she's got a difficult disease, and she's lost her husband, and although she has 2 children around her, they all feel they owe her more. And it's very tough dealing with a person like that because she can make a good case.
Yeah.
And he buys it.
But that's what I don't want. He buys it. I want to marry a man. I don't want to marry a boy who's attached to his mother.
Well, I don't know whether you need to look at it like that, but what you have is a man who cannot be the way you want him to be.
So I'm looking at this falsely, right?
Correct. You just found out something that makes you a very lucky person.
And sad, too.
Of course. Luck is sometimes attached with sadness. But think of it this way. Look at yourself in 3 years. You've been fighting 3 times a week. He hasn't been talking to you all weekend. Imagine this call 3 years from now. You married him. His mother continues to live and go downhill, and he's there every single day. He wants you to come over, and you fight continuously over the time that you don't spend with her. And you have a baby.
That's what I'm scared of.
And he insists that the baby comes over there to cheer her up, and you're hating it. I'm not making a moral judgment of whether what you're doing or feeling is right. I'm just saying it feels terrible. So how does it feel not to be in that situation 3 years from now?
That feels not to be in that situation. It feels right for me.
Right. So where you are is perfectly right. The problem is, and I heard that feeling, the problem is that you chose a child because in some way it reflected a childish part of yourself that doesn't like to take responsibility. Ouch, huh?
Ouch.
Ouch?
Oh.
A little ouch?
Wow.
Wow, what did you see?
It's just funny. I mean, I listen to you on KBC, and you always seem to see between the lines. I don't know, and that's probably true.
Okay. So, oh my goodness, the
Oh my
floor's been
goodness.
taken out from under me. Oh heavens. What can I do? All right. But that's good. So, you're a little bit irresponsible and childlike. That's a good truth to know. So you've been lucky twice today. You discovered the truth about him, and you discovered the truth about yourself. Things are going to get better.
Well, they are from this point. You're right.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Glad I could help. How about that, John?
Do you feel like taking another call right now?
I think we have to.
Okay.
They'll fire me if I don't, you know.
This is an unusual call. It's Scott, and Scott is 21, and he's scared because he's never ever had a friend die before, and it's happening right now.
Right now? Scott?
Hello,
Hi, Scott.
how are you?
I'm good. What is your friend dying from?
HIV/AIDS.
Uh-huh. And how long has he been sick?
I found out about 4 months ago, but it's only been in the last about 3 weeks that he's been in the hospital.
Uh-huh. Does he have an infection?
Yeah, he has a really severe bacterial infection throughout his body, into the bone marrow, the liver. I mean, it's just totally ridden.
Terrible. And when did you realize that you were losing him?
As I just see him deteriorating. You know, I go into the hospital, and he looks like a skeleton. You know, and one of the doctors, one of the many, told him, you know, she felt that he had 2 months to live, and his main doctor, the primary physician, told us that, you know, he can't give him any amount of time. You know, it could be that long, could be less, could be more.
Yeah.
But I just know that it's getting to a point where he's so weak that, you know, he's not going to be able to survive it.
No.
And it's getting to a point where I'm going through this with my wife. I'm married, and my friend, his name is my friend anyway. He's gay, and that doesn't matter. But
He's your friend.
yeah, he's my friend. That you know, that's nothing. But it's getting to a point where my wife and I are trying to support each other. But it's at a point where when nothing, you know, when I'm not doing something and I just have a free moment for something to come into my mind, it's totally consuming.
Okay. You're trying to push it out of your mind, aren't you?
Well, it's something that, you know, it's getting overbearing.
Okay, but you're trying to push it out of your mind.
Yeah.
Don't. That's the first mistake anyone makes in the face of death. You're there, and it's a special moment. I don't mean a special moment that you cherish as a wonderful moment, but it's a moment of great intensity because it's what defines life. Death defines life. And what you and your wife need to talk about is how much you care for him, how glassy and fragile and unreparable life is. You break it and it scatters, and how unfair it all feels, and how much you need to make of your own life. Do you go in to see him together?
Yeah.
And what do you talk about when you're with him?
Just, you know, how he's doing today.
Does he know he's dying?
He's in total denial. That's one of the hardest parts.
That's the most difficult thing. And that's going to crack soon, because one of the things I suspect that's going on, just from the sound of it, is that you're catching some of his denial, and you're wishing to deny it as well. And
you know, it got to a point, I think, where I really started to break. 2 days ago, we were in the hospital.
Sure.
And he started talking about in 2 years he's going to go to Europe with his mom, and he started just telling us about all these things that he had planned that he was going to do, and I know
he's testing it out.
That he's not going to be able to do it.
Yeah,
and
but he knows too. Hear that. He said, why is he telling you his plans? Because he's scared.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he's telling you his plans. He's saying, 2 years I'd like to go to Europe, and I was planning to do this. And he's thinking, gee, looks like I may not be well enough to go. That's the first way it creeps in. You know, I lost a very dear friend from cancer of the liver, and we had a a conversation at the end where I was able to, this is my lifelong best friend, and I was able to say to him, I said, God, Eddie, I'm really going to miss you. And he said, sobbing and quiet, well, I'm going to miss you too, David, but I want you to know something, that they're giving me a lot of medication, so I'm not in pain, and I don't want you to feel sad for me. And we started talking about it. And if you could just say something like that to him, gee, I get so scared of losing you and fear that I'm going to miss you, to open it up. But you've got to get through the denial with him. You know, we talk about supporting denial with people who are fading, but he's aware he has AIDS, right? He knows what the consequences are. He knows the jeopardy in which he stands, and to pretend something is not so when he knows that it's so with every part of his body and his mind only takes away his strength, because he's using his strength to deny rather than fight the infection. And he needs all of his strength to be present for the truth of the danger that he's fighting. And that's how I would begin it with him. You know, we felt so sad, you're so sick, I guess we're so frightened for you. He knows you love him, and that's what he has to hear. How do you feel about that?
I think that could work. The one thing that's really good is that we've always, you know, just in our friendship, and especially since he's become ill, you know, we've just kind of even made a pact that we will be honest and open and upfront. So
tell him now is the time for that. Tell him you're feeling the pain, you're feeling his energy go, and you feel that he's wasting a lot of time concealing how sick he is, and that you want to be there for him, but you want to be there together, and it's hard to be there when he's pretending what is not so.
The thing that I'm worried about is it detrimental to, you know, is that throwing him up against the wall and saying, look, you're dying?
If he could cry over it for an afternoon and get it out of the way, he could move on and at least go on to the remaining part of his life with the truth, and with the truth, even though it's much more sad, once the sadness is over, there's room for laughing, release, relief, the good times, and taking measure of the love between you, and I think that's what your relationship needs.
Okay.
Take care, my
Thank
friend.
you.
David Viscott, we're going to be with you for a whole other hour. It's all live, and we're waiting for you to participate.